Yo, guys, what is going on? OC here with you on the original OC channel. Smartwatch Talk for the Smart Collector, the #1 live stream on Monday nights at 8 o'clock. What's up, guys? It is Monday, March 30th, 2026. We've got breaking news for you tonight about Rolex. Stay tuned for that. It's about the new Rolex headquarters in New York City. It's opening. Shh. It's opening soon. Plus, I did a lot of interesting personal stuff today. I had my taxes done. Guys, April 15th, if you're in the United States, the April 15th deadline for filing your taxes is coming up quick. Do not procrastinate. Don't procrastinate because it'll catch up with you and you want to get it done. Get your taxes done, guys. Also, if you're watching this stream, YouTube has a new feature. I'm not sure if it's really a feature or not, but it starts you at the beginning of the stream. So if you're watching this right now, check and see if we're live, and you can zoom ahead to the live portion, because what YouTube is doing now is that whenever you start a stream that's live, in progress, it starts you from the beginning, not from the live part. So I just want to give you guys a heads up that you may be watching from the beginning, not what is live. Guys, the watch community is uniting like never before around Rolex and Patek. A record number of unboxings are taking place, and all of those unboxings are Rolex and Patek, and people are liquidating and divesting. I think it's a big word. It's a big financial term, divesting. They're divesting Tudor, Zenith, and Omega. It's a movement. It's a crusade that's catching on. And I'm not going to say I'm the one who started it, but even people who've said that they're into independent brands, even people who've been into like niche brands, they're all coming back to Rolex and Patek. You ever notice that? You ever notice that the people who've been espousing De Bethune and Laurent Ferrier and Grubel Forsey and all those, I mean, some Grubel Forsey is garbage. I don't like Grubel Forsey at all. I never would recommend to anyone that you buy Grubel Forsey. All those people are coming back to the OC philosophy, which is Rolex, Patek, AP, Richard Mille, and for investment purposes only, F. Pajon. And that's it. Let's see, we have 3 people. We have 2 people watching. 2 people. It's pretty good. Pretty good for a Monday night. Not bad at all. We got 2 people watching. Those 2 people are Logan Hall, star of Logan Hall's Grill Streams. By the way, we're hitting White Castle next. We're hitting White Castle, and I'm not actually looking forward to it. I don't think their burgers look really good. It's just like a slider style with a lot of bun and a very thin pat. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm hoping it's good. They've been around for decades, right? So they got to be good, I hope. Anyway, we're hitting White Castle next. Logan Hall's a member of the channel. And we got ZD live from Los Angeles. He says, I'm wearing a watch you would hate. Hate is a strong word. I don't hate brands. I just advise people not to buy bad brands. It's not that I hate them. I don't hate them. Like a Tudor Black Bay 58. It's not a watch I hate. It's not an awful watch. It's not a bad watch. It's just not a watch that's good enough for you to buy with your own money, because there's so many other better choices. Rolex is the king. And that's the advice that we've been giving here for years. And it's good to see people adopting that philosophy. All the unboxings, literally all the unboxings that have happened over the past few weeks actually the past few months have all been Rolex and Patek, except for what we unboxed last night. Was it last night or the night before? Can't remember. That was a Tudor. Go back and watch the stream from yesterday. We unboxed was it yesterday or the day before? We unboxed a Tudor. It's a surprise Tudor unboxing. All right, we're up to 4 viewers now. Viewer number 3, DC Chris in the chat. Hey OC, greetings from DC. Good to see you here in the chat, DC. By the way, I noticed you're not a member, so I'm going to take the opportunity to plug something that is great for you and for me. Memberships. Become a member today. Here's the link to become a member in the chat. And we got Raypad, who's using his member emojis. Raypad is a member of the OC channel. He's using his member emojis in the chat. There's nothing more beautiful than seeing Rolex coronet emojis in the chat. By the way, check this out. I'm going to I have breaking news about this. Some of you guys probably know what this is. Make it a bit bigger. Can I make it bigger? Yeah, there we go. That's good. Nice. I can't wait for this thing. I can't wait for this thing to open. I'll share the breaking news momentarily. But yeah, what am I rocking on the wrist tonight? It's the same thing I've been wearing for the last 3 or 4 days, actually. Actually, I thought I was wearing the Pepsi. I thought I had the Pepsi on. No, I'm rocking the Daytona. This is the one with the diamond baguette dial, rose gold. There's some configurations of Daytona that are really good. And then there's some configurations of Daytona that are less desirable. This one's on Oyster Flex with the Sundust diamond baguette dial. Like I wouldn't get, I've had a black dial steel Daytona. That's a good Daytona. I wouldn't get steel. I wouldn't get a black dial in precious metal though. That would be, I wouldn't do that. There's so many other better dials for the Daytona than, if you're going precious metal, I would do the yellow gold green. They call it the John Mayer 2.0. The green with the champagne. That's a killer combination. I don't even like green. I don't even like green, and I would get that one. Two-tone looks good with the black dial, but like yellow gold, you don't want to get black dial. You want to get Panda. Yellow gold, you want to get the Pikachu, or you want to get rose gold Sundust Panda, or you want to get white gold, the Ghost Panda, the Moon Dust. So many other better choices than a black dial. Boring. Hey, look at this. DC Chris became a member. Thank you for becoming a member. Let me just double check something here. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Now you got a star next to your name. You can use the member emojis. You have access to the members only live streams. And we do have, by the way, all the burger streams, except for the one that we just did at Shake Shack, those are members only. So we've got, yeah, you're a member now. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We do have like a record number of members here. Like it's one of the highest percentage of members to subscribers of any other channel in the world. John D's in the chat. What's up? The Daytona. That's right. I actually thought I was wearing the Pepsi, but I have three watches sitting on top of my box right now. And I'm just too lazy to put them in because I've just been wearing them nonstop in rotation. The Platinum Date 8, the Daytona, and the Pepsi. They're all sitting on top of the box. Put them in. Put them in for safekeeping, OC. Hey, we got Father Artifact, member of the OC channel. Well, OC, it's obviously a Speedmaster week. Go Artemis 2, go NASA. Father Artifact's making me feel guilty because we recently doubled down on our anti-Omega campaign. I feel bad. I feel a little bad. Do I feel How bad do I feel? Listen, you and Dear Artifact are like true Omega lovers. You're actually Speedmaster collectors. You have First Omega in space. You've got 321. I got all kinds of cool stuff. So listen, I get it. I get it. But what I'm really saying is like, don't settle for Omega as like your first or second watch, thinking that that's going to replace Rolex. It's not going to fill the void. There's some people who think that when you're advising young collectors or new collectors starting out, that you should advise them to get Oris and Tudor and Timex and spend thousands and thousands of dollars buying Tag Heuer and all this stuff. And by the time you've wasted 10 or 15 or $20,000 and they're ready to buy Rolex, they blew all their money already. I say go big right from the start. Start off with Rolex. Start off with the crown. It's the minimum you should accept. And by the way, the minimum is also the best. So it's the most incredible feeling to start your collection with the best that you can get. Nothing is like the crown. So listen, I know it sounds a little elitist, but it is very, very good advice. And look what's happening. Look what's happening. Look to my, I think it's to the right. Look what's happening to the right here. You've got Britt Pierce. You've got Andrew Morgan. I remembered his name. Andrew Morgan. You've got some bald guy who with a bigger forehead than I have. Some nerdy looking guy. They're all saying the same thing. They've all jumped on the bandwagon that I've been espousing. That's a big word like gymnasium for the last year or two. And that is, first of all, Tudor. Don't buy Tudor. Never buy Tudor. Look at this. Tudor is hurting. The truth revealed. Now they're all finally saying what I've been saying all along. And look at these headlines. Omega is finished. Major problems. Overpriced. Omega's in trouble. There's a bunch of live streams now about how Omega is in severe trouble. By the way, the Swatch Group, this is not financial. This is not a financial prediction because we don't do that here on the channel. But I think the Swatch Group's going to be at 80 to $100 a share soon. I think they're going to drop 50, 60%. I don't recommend any of the Swatch Group brands. I don't recommend any of the LVMH brands. I think the industry itself, we're seeing a massive shift towards consolidation. It's all about Rolex. It's all about Patek. There's some people who unboxed. There are people buying $100,000 watches that are liquidating, consolidating the low-hanging fruit, the stuff with the very high cost per wear, the high CPW, the stuff that the drawer watches, as Rose would say, and consolidating into big stuff, big Patek. And that's awesome to see. Mr. Tudor to you, banned check. Please confirm. Someone please confirm if they see this. Mr. Tudor to you is not a member. And until he's a member, he's not allowed to comment. So, yeah. Yep. He gone. Sorry, Mr. Tudor to you, it's not personal. It's not personal. It's just that, listen, hey, how long have you been enjoying the free content here? Okay. You have enjoyed, you've enjoyed the ride long enough, my friend. It's time to pony up for a membership. If you're going to be, listen, just your name in and of itself, Mr. Tudor to you, promotes Tudor. I can't have that on my channel unless you show, listen, it's a loyalty test. It's a blind loyalty test, and I'm not ashamed to say it. So unfortunately, Mr. Tudor is banned in the chat. Hopefully he'll come back one day when he becomes a member. I hope he's okay with the shtick. Sometimes like it really rubs people the wrong way, the shtick, but it's okay. Yeah, there's nothing that can replace Rolex. And we got, says Father Artifact, and we got Vamal, also a member. I recall celebs got sued for spruiking fart coins. Wonder if their viewers can. Okay. Vamal, what do you mean? I know you speak good English. I recall celebrities got sued for spruiking fart coins. Wonder if their viewers if their viewers can sue. What are you talking about? Help me out. Elaborate a little bit, because you are a member of the channel and a huge contributor in the chat. John D, the loyalty test in full effect. Yeah, he's banned. He's banned. Listen, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for buying Tudor in 2026. Sorry, we're not going to let it happen, guys. We have to stand on. We have to stand on business. First of all, we got to stand on business, and number two, stand on principle. And as you guys probably heard by now, my collection is Tissot free. My collection is Tudor free. I bought 2 Tudors over the years, sold them. One of them at a huge loss, 50% loss. I'm proud to say that today, even though I like the watch, again, this is nothing about the watches. The watches can be high quality. The watches can be good, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, as a matter of principle, I couldn't in good conscience advise my audience, which is the global watch community. We're all a shared community together. It's not like I'm telling you guys what to do. It's just you guys know the truth. You guys know this. It's self-evident that you should buy Rolex and Patek. It's not rocket science that you shouldn't buy Tudor, right? It's not rocket science that you shouldn't buy Zenith. I loved my Zenith. Okay, it was one of the first watches I ever got. I loved my Omega Seamaster Diver 300M. It was a nice looking watch. I wore it proudly for almost 5 years. But the time has come to put your money where your mouth is. And so now those watches are gone. They're gone from my collection. Do I even have a picture of my collection? Let's see. Do I have a picture? Sure I do somewhere. Let's find a picture of my current collection. Let's find it here. And I will give you guys maybe a state of the collection update. Here it is. Boom. Let's open this. Open with. Pop open a new tab. Listen, I'm going to be transparent with you guys. Yeah. Boom. This is my collection. There's no more Tissot, no more Tudor, no more Omega, and no more Zenith. They're gone. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm all in on Rolex, Patek, and AP. And I'll go through my collection momentarily. Hey, Boxer fans in the chat, consider becoming a member, Boxer. Come on, there's a link to the memberships. Good evening, OC in the chat. Thanks, Boxer, and so many generous people for supporting the philanthropic causes. We had a great stream the other day supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Boxer was one of the big contributors in that fundraiser. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. Clarification from Vimal. All these watch YouTubers were pushing the Rolex killer. Is Patek done? That's right. So there were a lot of YouTubers that were saying 5 great alternatives to the Rolex Submariner. Why you should choose Oris over Rolex. Why Longines is a better dive watch than the Rolex Submariner. Yeah, these guys for years and years and years promoted an anti-Rolex agenda, okay, and advised their audience to buy Nomos, and to buy Longines, and to buy Tudor, to buy Omega, and they now have to be held to account. These YouTubers need to be held accountable for their bad advice. Okay? They spruiked Tudor relentlessly. And now the chickens have come home to roost now that Tudor is floundering and Omega is faltering and Zenith is pretty much almost out of business. My prediction is that LVMH will pull the plug completely on Zenith by the end of the year. And that's sad for me because I like the brand, but they are done. They're done. So they spruik these brands nonstop. And now that the movement that we started together, the movement that we as a global watch community, bulldozed, we pushed this agenda. We rammed it down everybody's throats. No, we want Rolex Patek AP. That's what we want. We want the best, and we're not going to settle for anything less. Now that agenda is steamrolling through the industry and is manifesting itself in the form of consolidation and premiumization, now they're Tudor is falling. Oh, something's wrong with Omega. Yes, there was something wrong with Omega all along, and we were exposing it, and you were covering it up and pushing Tudor Omegas at retail onto their viewers only to turn around and rewrite history now that nobody wants these brands. The mall, you have nailed it. You've nailed the issue right on the head. Thank you for clarifying, because I really didn't understand the first sentence. The first comment was like all over the place. But now I get it. Now I totally get it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the watch. Just don't admit that. Just don't admit it. Actually, get rid of it. Boxer fans, come on. Just get rid of it. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, because when are you ever going to reach for that watch? Come on. Jump on the panel, explain yourself. Come on. Nobody watching. This is the channel for smart collectors. You know it. Just get rid of the Pelagos. First of all, no one even knows how to pronounce it. Is it Pelagos or Pelagos? No one fucking knows. No one really knows. So listen, if you don't even know how to pronounce the watch, why even have it in your collection? It's like, hey, look, I got a Pelagos. Or is it Pelagos? I don't know. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. You'll feel better. I feel better now that I am completely Tissot, Tudor, Omega, and Zenith free. Dude, a weight has been lifted off of these very puny shoulders. Okay, it was a lightweight, but listen, I'm not very strong, but I feel so much better. Look at this collection now. And actually I have to do some more consolidation, right? But this is a collection that I can be proud of. There's no Omega and there's no Zenith, and never a Tudor, never ever again. Andy Lewis with his customary greeting from the Lone Star State. Howdy, y'all. He's a member of the channel. What's up, Andy? By the way, if you want to jump on and talk about anything, open topics tonight. I'm probably going to stay on for let's see, how long have I been on? Like 3 minutes? I'll probably go like 5 or 10 minutes. I'll go 5 or 10 minutes if you're watching this if you're watching this now. Fast forward to the live part, because you probably are probably late. The link to join the panel should be pinned if Mathis pinned it. Hey, we got Karen Blocker. Sounds like a new Hey, make sure you're subscribed, Karen. Make sure you're subscribed. We do live streams here without warning, without planning, and without preparation. So just to subscribe, make sure you enable notifications, hit that bell icon. Only by Rolex. This sounds like a smart collector. You should be a subscriber. You should be a member. I also happen to like Patek. As you can see, top left, I have a 5396G, which is the white gold, blue gradient dial with the diamond baguettes. Did I overpay? No, I didn't overpay, because I got this direct from a Patek retailer. And I got the relationship. I am on the journey. I'm on the journey with Patek, and I'm proud of it. Karen says never buy horrible things like Tudor or AP or Cartier. Ooh. There are a lot of people who, over the past couple of years, have really turned on Audemars Piguet, for the woke marketing, the questionable collaborations, the woke kind of philosophy, the emphasis on culture and community, which I'm not gonna interpret what that means. You can interpret in your own mind what you think that means. Their emphasis on culture. Keep it clean in the chat. Keep it clean in the chat, guys. This is a boring watch channel after all. But listen, I have two Pateks now. I have a white gold one. I have a steel weekly calendar, 5212. And then I've got Rolex, a whole collection of Rolex. Some I love, some I've loved, and it's time to move on. It's time. I need your advice. If you could pick, I mean, there's several of these pieces that could easily be sold at massive profits. Not that I'm a seller, but listen, like if you have to fine tune your collection, we're up to 15 viewers, guys. That's pretty good for the OC channel. 15 viewers on a Monday night. That's good. That's a very, very high bar. If anybody wants to jump on the panel, feel free to jump on. I love this. I love this. This new viewer, Karen Blocker. Karen Blocker, you should create an avatar, because your avatar right now is a big D, and I don't know what that means. I don't want to know what your big D stands for. No AP. AP is horrible. Okay, jump on and explain. Karen is like really taking over the chat. Oh, you can read all of Karen's comments in the chat. Blog Pawn out of business. Well, Blog Pawn is part of the Swatch Group, right? Part of the Swatch Group. So they're in big trouble. Big trouble. Hey, got Corrado is a member of the channel. Love my Tudor. It's okay to banish me. No, I'm not going to banish. You're a member. I'm not going to banish a member. Corrado, you're a cool guy. It's all good. It's all good. We're just poking a little fun. We're poking a little fun here. Karen, calm down. Calm down, Karen. We have Polish X. New to the channel here. Pretty easy for me to say Black Bay and Speedmaster. What do you mean by pretty easy for you to say it? Those are bad. Yeah, you don't like those? Yeah. If the question is, what are two watches that you should not buy unless you're buying vintage or you're a huge collector of the brand? The answer is Black Bay and Speedmaster. Thank you. Nerd with Swags in the chat. Sorry, but never let another man steer the way you collect. Buy what you like, No, this is bad advice. This is bad. This is horrible advice. If you ever heard someone say, just buy what you like, just buy what you love, just if you love it, buy it. No, that's terrible advice. I'm sorry. That's not advice that this audience deserves to hear. Remember, watches are not for investments. They should bring you enjoyment, not doubling your money. No one's talking about doubling your money. No one's talking about buying watches as investments. We're talking about buying high quality brands of which you can be proud wearing, brands that stand the test of time. And I'm not going to recommend to this audience. I'm going to remind this audience things that they already know. And they already know, don't buy Tudor. Zenith is almost bankrupt. Omega is faltering big. Did you see what Omega did? I mean, take a look at this. You guys are going to be shocked. You probably are not aware. This is the thing, is you guys probably are not aware of some of the things that are going on in the industry. But I'll try to highlight some of those things. I don't typically cover Omega, but check this out. Check this out. Omega introduced. Oh my God, these guys are crazy. I mean, they're literally crazy. They introduced a revamped Omega Constellation Observatory series, and they're charging like Rolex prices for some of these watches. I mean, who would ever in his right mind buy an Omega Constellation precious metal dress watch? Not when you can buy Patek. Come on. I mean, this is lunacy. So yes, I am not going to steer people, but by the way, the steering has been incredibly successful because an overwhelming majority of all the unboxings that have taken place in the community are all Rolex and Patek. So listen, I stand by. I don't want to say I've influenced anybody because everybody knows what the truth is. I think they just need a reminder. Don't buy Tudor. Don't buy Omega. Stick with the crown, stick with the cross, and you'll be better off. You want a dress watch? You're not going to buy a Constellation. I don't even know how much is this thing. $30,000? Are they out of their minds? Come on, guys. This is a joke. It's a joke. We've got the real PK. I'm not sure, the real PK. I may have missed it. Why are we banning these brands? Because they're bad. Because they're not good brands. And I'm not the one who's banning them, but the entire industry is turning on those brands after I've been harping on it. I've been harping on it for the last 2 years. For good reason. Got Julius Caesar in the chat. He's a member of the OC channel. I love the members. Good evening, OC and everyone. Good to see Julius in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece, says Boxer, but the price is absolutely outrageous. What is the price of this thing? Let's this is the Omega Constellation Observatory. Let's see what the prices are. I haven't really read anything about this. I'm not going to do any research on Omega. Let's get real. Let's be serious here. Let's check out the prices. Okay, this is in euros. Stainless steel, 10,700 euros. Precious metal, 37,000 euros. What is that exchange rate? 37,300 euros to USD. $43,000. Fuck these guys. Come on. They're fucking crazy. They're crazy. There's zero chance that you should be buying this watch. Come on, guys. Come on. And that's what I'm talking about. These brands are delusional. I mean, there's not why they think they can compare themselves to Patek and Rolex and Vacheron. Come on, even Vacheron's not even technically an approved brand, but it's, you got to recommend Vacheron 50 times before you ever recommend this watch. Julie Caesar says, I love the concept, but Omega missed the mark on the Constellation Observatory. All right, got someone joining the panel. Someone who hasn't been on in quite a while, so you're going to like this. Let's see here. All right. Yo, ZD, what's up?
Oh, see, how are you, pal?
Doing pretty good. It's been a while.
How you doing? How are things?
Good. So, I mean, am I being manic? Am I being crazy?
Specifically related to what? The constellation?
Yeah, just about everything. I mean, I'm in a I'm in a
I'm
crazy
joining this
mood.
panel specifically because I think that this Omega constellation personifies everything that is wrong with the entirety of the watch world today, from the concept and execution of the watches to the marketing to all of these people being flown to Geneva to, have an embargo lifted and them to all pump out the same exact content for none of them to
Preach,
actually
brother.
have for none of them to actually have anything to say that's relevant to an actual watch consumer, which is the fact that while these watches are sure nice and we can talk about the chronometry and the fact that it doesn't have a second hand and all the gobbledygook, that they are pricing these watches, that the all gold one is more expensive by like $15,000 than a 1908. Okay. That the platinum one on a strap is more expensive than the 6196 salmon dial Patek that came out last year. And it is more expensive than a Longa. That there is not one mention from any relevant news outlet, and we can use the word news
Yeah,
liberally here,
very
okay,
liberally because
about
there's zero
hey,
criticism of the
and by the
watch and the
way,
pricing
here's the
strategy, right?
thing. We get it. We're not idiots. Okay. If you are Hodinky or Revolution, which are, they need to have, they're looking for people to buy ads. They're, you can't alienate the Swatch group. We're not stupid. We get it. Okay. And if you're some random watch influencer who's gotten to a place where like they'll fly you to Geneva, I'm sure that's pretty cool to get a free trip to Geneva. Great, okay, but it is all so disingenuous that it drives me absolutely insane. And what I would say is that the ecosystem of watches, which I have come to really enjoy, especially this stream and you, was so what felt so much more pure like 24 months ago. Okay. And it has been through brands, and I like Tudor, okay, but it has been through brands like Tudor and like Omega that have managed to, in my opinion, compromise.
Uh, CD, you still there? Guys, can you still hear me? Check, check, check. ZD's audio went out. ZD, your audio went out. Just double check. Okay, well, listen, the Swatch group has silenced him. Swatch group has silenced. I'm gonna kick you out and jump back in because you were on a roll there. You were on a roll. The watch media are complete sellouts. They have a responsibility. I was going to continue, but you're in the zone, so just keep going.
Yeah, no, it's been completely abhorrent, so
Uh-oh.
crazy because
Okay.
um, that that they that this is what's going on, and I don't know. It drives me nuts, and that's why I came on. And this watch personifies everything that is wrong in watches and watch media today.
Yeah, at these mainstream corporate watch publications, it seems like they don't do a lot of critical reviews. I mean, they parrot all the positives and the talking points that the brands give them, but they're very weak on the criticism. Very weak on the criticism because they have a flawed monetization. Their strategy is they're paid by the
Well,
brands.
they're trade
You know,
magazines. That's just the reality. They're trade magazines,
they're trade
and
magazines.
you have to know that, and that's fine. And they serve a different purpose, okay? But it is the gobbledygook that gets pushed out through 20 different streams of social media and other forms that is all just the same, and you're just getting hammered on a Friday about this mega constellation and the fact that they like use echolocation to tell you that it's like plus or minus 2 seconds, even though they don't have a second hand. So you'll never actually be able to set the goddamn watch to the atomic clock. So it's just, it's all completely ridiculous. Completely. And last year around Watches and Wonders, I lost my mind because everybody was going so crazy about like dial flips on the Tudor, Black Bay Pro. And I'm like, I like, and I think once again, this is like the worst version of everything is just like this moment.
I'm looking at some of the headlines here from the mainstream media, from Wired magazine. This groundbreaking. Let me just pull it up here. Make sure I can do this safely here. This one from Wired. This groundbreaking Omega watch's accuracy is calibrated using sound. Wow, incredible. Introducing the new Omega Constellation Observatory Collection, the first two-hand design to achieve master chronometer certification.
Which you will never achieve because you can't actually set the goddamn watch. So like, if you care about time, like how are you going to know when it's, 11:01? You'll never know.
Yeah. The Constellation makes watchmaking history. Oh my God, what is this? This is incredible. The Omega debuts elegant additions to its Constellation Observatory. Look at these, like Maxim, Rob Report. These are all shills. And then we have Wired, and then we have the mainstream watch publications.
By the way, look, these are just magazines
Monochrome.
that are sadly dying, that need content. All good. It's really the people who have come into this world over the past few years, who have gained, in my opinion, an audience, through social media based on their point of view and how they sort of put themselves forwards in the watch world. Those are the biggest like fucking shills out there, like the guy that gets the ride to Geneva to like walk outside and be like, this is the best thing ever. And it's like, is it? First of all, it's very thick. They're perfectly nice. You can find a all gold one probably in a vintage place for $40,000 less. Like, what are we talking about here? It's just, it's preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. And the thing that drives me so crazy, and like, you have all these like Omega guys who like are so like, you can't say anything bad about Omega, they lose their minds, and I'm like, guys, like you can hate Rolex, you can hate the AD experience, God knows I do. Like, I like, they're a giant pain in my ass, but at the end of the day, like the watches that they make, like you're not getting the maximum value of. You buy a brand new, white dial, all gold, 36 millimeter date, you're going to lose money. That's the reality. That's the nature of the game here. But
you're not going to lose as much money as you do with the 450 other brands. Yeah,
exactly. So.
And in a way, over time, as the prices of those watches go up and up and up, it creates a floor, under you, a floor of security and safety, where that it's a very liquid watch. Not that anybody ever needs to sell a Rolex, because you're buying a watch that is going to last a lifetime. And there's the steel models; they go for over retail. They're beautiful watches that, no matter what collection speaks to you, it's a collection that looks amazing on the wrist. It's going to hold its value, and it's going to make you feel good, and the people who look at you are going to think, man, that person is a success.
Look, I feel fortunate. I've a few in my collection.
Rolex and Patek, baby.
Rolex and Patek, and
right.
I will say that getting them is a giant pain in the ass, and I am finding myself less and less interested in like popping into my AD or having conversations, and I'm finding myself more and more interested in brands that you probably wouldn't sanction, but yet I think are still not in the bottom of your hellish trinity, I would say. But the things that I just find appealing, and that are great watches, and it's not like I'm going in to have to kiss the rear end of some guy at a fucking Rolex AD. It's just like, enough already. My full arrogance at this point is like, If I want a goddamn watch, just sell me a fucking watch. Like I have watches, and I like watches, and I'm not flipping them. Like I'm losing. Like every time like they convince you of these stupid things. Wow, to build a relationship, all this nonsense. You want a Sprite right now? There's 50 on every goddamn website.
You can get one.
Want
You can get
you
one,
can
no problem, for
but you can get
a
one.
few grand over retail. Whoop de do.
Exactly. You want a
You
land
know.
dweller? Like you should have to prostrate yourself to some bum in a suit, in a bad suit, because you want a land dweller. There's like three of them being sold to like random jewelers in Florida, like every 9 seconds of the day. It's just like, shut up
Yeah.
and sell me a watch. It
Exactly. And listen, the whole thing about, well, there's a lot of on Reddit and a lot of these forum places, these collectors, they always come, oh, the Rolex game, it's impossible. I've been waiting 4 years to get a Submariner, 4 years. I mean, if it's taking you 4 years to get a Submariner or 4 years to get the date just that you want, you're not a social person. You don't know what you're doing. Okay. Because there's no way that it should take that long for you to get a watch. People walk in every day of the week
totally.
and request a watch, and then a few weeks later, a few months later, they get it. It's not rocket science. If
The
you're
the
someone who doesn't walk in looking like a bum in flip flops, off the street, and you're successful, they're going to know that you want to build a small collection. They're going to give you a watch.
the truth is, and everybody wants to feel like they're through the front door, and that you've been blessed by the AD gods. But at the end of the day, even though I met a guy, lovely guy, he'd been waiting for years for a Submariner. I couldn't believe it. It's
Yeah.
something that trades 3K above, and I'm like, dude, just like go get one. Go buy it.
Go
Like,
get one.
why wait?
If you don't have the social skills to play the game or whatever for what, your failure at, building a rapport with another human being, so they sell you a watch. Just go spend $2,000 extra and get it somewhere else. By the time you get it 3 years later, it's gone up by another $1,500
Totally.
anyway.
I also think, I obviously you've been ranting and selling, liquidate your
Yes.
zeniths and all these things. I really feel in this moment, like actually the brand that deserves all of your ire is in fact Omega, because they have been the most egregious with their
Mm,
pricing. I think they have been the most egregious with how they have put together their catalog. If they just released this new watch, you know how many references they released? Like 12. Like, who needs 12 Omega constellations? How about two? Okay.
mm.
What about like one in gold on a strap and one in steel on a strap? Like, have some common sense. Like, and then price them competitively with the person that you want to be. Don't try to put yourself so far upstream so that okay, cool. Well, no one's buying this for $54,000. So when when our when our non boutiques sell it for 34, we've got to be so high up that the cut they take isn't so terrible. But
It's
but
insanity.
but
But
I think that
the pricing is insanity. MD Chaz, real quick, by the way, member of the OC channel. I bought a vintage 1968 box and papers, 18 karat gold Omega Constellation for $1,200. This new one is crazy.
yep, it's crazy. I think if we start to dig into your frustrations, I think Tudor, is increasing their prices a little bit. They are still robust watches you can get for a song compared to all these
They're cheap.
Omegas.
Yep.
You know,
They're cheap, but
Ze-
they're cheap but worthless. And my problem with Tudor is that you plunk down $5,000 on a Tudor, and if you're someone who watches this channel and you already have 2 or 3 Rolex in your collection, why would you
when are you
ever
ever?
wear why would you ever wear a
Yeah.
Tudor out in public
Yeah.
or at home? What would possess you to put on a Tudor when you're watching the game when you've got 3 Rolex? That makes no sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, well, I want something casual. You have a GMT, you have a Submariner, you have a Datejust. All 3 are way better than, oh, well, I need a beater. No, your beater is the best. You don't put on garbage, because it might get damaged. Rolex is the most robust tool watch there is. It'll take a licking. See, what do we got here? Tudor, with the aluminum bezel.
Yeah.
Red, 24,
Orange.
is that orange 24-hour hand?
Absolutely love this watch.
Okay,
love it.
Okay.
But
there.
By the way, you are not wrong. And I like Brody's CPW a lot.
Cost per wear.
I think it's a very important stat that's been introduced to the community. I bought this recently. I didn't, bother texting you about an unboxing because I knew where that would have gone, and I wouldn't sully the channel. I walked into a boutique. They had it. It's not a watch that you can happen upon very often in a boutique. I've been wanting to try one of these on for a long time. I just, dropped the credit card and did it. It's bigger than I'd want most of my watches to be because it's usually I'd like to be between a 40 and a 36, and this is a little above that. I absolutely love it.
Vintage. What years are from? Do you know?
It's 2026. I got this. It's
really?
This is the
new one.
This is the new one. This is the FXD Pelagos or Pelagos.
Wow.
I also don't know. GMT that was released 2 years ago. Completely.
Look at this! You forced us into a Tudor unboxing and a Tudor on wristing. You did it. See?
I did
in a strange way. Look what you did.
I didn't mean to, but
okay.
I wanted the whole viewership to know that you even though you have tough exterior, you still let people live their lives.
Of course. And you should have come on and unboxed it because it would have been fun anyway. We would have raised money for a good charity. So listen, if anybody has unboxings out there, just jump on the stream or reach out to me on Instagram or whatever, or WhatsApp, because we will do them, and they're fun and it's good to celebrate and share with the community. If it's a brand I love, I don't love, it doesn't matter. It's about bringing people together and supporting a good cause. So like, don't ever feel like you're going to be shamed. You should have should be thick-skinned. Should be tough as nails if you're in this hobby to begin with. So, by the way, we have Green Man, I think, in the chat. I think I saw Kesslowitz in the chat. The chats are coming in fast and furious, so it's hard for me to keep up here. Got a bunch of new people like Karen Blocker, who's really having a go in the chat. Got the Pluto Files here. I got a Steel Submariner date last year through a phone call request, but had to wait 9 months. Listen, but it's still a good feeling after 9 months. You get that text message, you get the call. Hey, I got a Rolex Submariner for you. There's no better feeling in the world than that, So listen, you play a little bit of the game. You got a Submariner retail. That's you're a winner as far as I'm concerned. Got Speedy Hernandez in the chat. What's up, Speedy? Got Whole Milk in the chat. We're up to I think 17 viewers, which is pretty good. Watch by Designs in the chat. I purchased 3 of my Rolex watches from authorized dealers. 2 were bought immediately, and my Submariner was offered to me after befriending the president. Wow, you are VIP. President of 4 authorized dealers at a convention. They had a booth. Very good. Congratulations, Watch by Design. It's impossible to say that you can't get a Rolex at retail. If you just have any kind of social skills whatsoever, and you're not asking, you don't walk in asking for a white dial Daytona. You don't come in asking for some kind of crazy thing, and you're a normal person who brushes their teeth, knows how to look presentable, you should be fine. Another informative broadcast from OC. I upvoted. Did you? That's a good reminder for everybody to upvote the live stream. And if you just joined us, make sure you're a member and notifications are enabled. So yeah, I wasn't thinking about Omega as harshly as you've been thinking about it. I really don't like what Zenith has been doing. I think ever since they introduced the Chronomaster Sport, that was like their peak in 2021 or whatever. And then what happened after that is a pattern of release after release after release after release that copied other watches. They had they looked like a Royal Oak, they looked like an Hublot, they looked like a Rolex, they looked like, they were just they looked like they were copying designs from everybody else, and the prices were sky high. El Primero Chronomaster Sport, I think, is $12,500 retail price. I mean, they can say, well, it's less than a Daytona, but they haven't made any changes to that watch in 4 years. So listen, it's over for Zenith, guys. It's over. We're pulling the plug on Omega. And listen, Tudor has been dead a long time. Sell immediately. I told everybody I was going to sell my Zenith and my Omega by June 30th. I'm 3 months ahead of deadline, guys. Make it a goal. Make it a mission. Look at what's in the collection. Look what's in that second box. If you have a second box, bunch of junk in there. Look what's sitting at the bottom of the drawer. Get rid of these watches. They can go to a good home somewhere else, somebody else's wrist. You'll feel there'll be a breath of fresh air to get them out of your collection. And you can get that money, put it to good use, doing literally anything but having them tied up in these watches that you don't wear and that you'd never be seen in public. So there, rant over.
I have a glass chute I need to sell.
Please, I mean, if you could get a few grand for it, you'd be lucky.
I know.
And that's,
by the way,
that's the thing with the watches.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I shared it to a dealer that I'm a great vintage dealer. It's not vintage, it's neo vintage at best, but he'll sell anything. He's a very reputable guy, and he's like, I'll sell it, but I'm not giving you money for it. I don't want to own that thing. I was like,
okay, but it's like someone earlier in the chat, I forgot who it was, said, this is really bad advice. Oh, see, remember, watch collecting is fun. It's not about, it should just buy what you like. How do you feel now that you bought what you liked back then and not a single dealer will agree to take it off your hands when you're like, shit, I don't want this thing anymore. At that point, yes, resale value does become a factor. It's not, you weren't trying, you don't go into buying a watch thinking you're going to double your money. Watches are a great investment, but you have to be practical. These are expensive purchases. So here you are X number of years later, you're like, you know what? I want to move on from this. And literally like every dealer's like, Glasuta Original, how can I fucking sell that? And then you're stuck. And that's not a good position.
And you are stuck. Yeah.
Stuck.
And then you can get like, stuck. I gave my brother a Christopher Ward. Like
at least he didn't have to. At least he didn't have to pay for it. He didn't have to pay.
I bought a Christopher Ward, and then guess what? I managed.
You gave it away.
I managed to get an AP Royal Oak, which was the watch I really wanted, and so I gave my brother the Christopher Ward.
Listen, charity comes in all forms, and so if you have watches in your collection,
yeah, he was like,
I've got two. I still have two Moon swatches that I've never opened that are brand new that are sitting here somewhere. I might just do like a giveaway at some point. I might just like say when we reach 200 subscribers, or something like that. Like I'll give it.
That may never happen. But
listen, this is a very niche channel, very niche subject matter here.
Very niche.
We have Vimal, who's a member for 18 months. How's that even possible? Panel, that's you and me. 1908 Setimo versus the Jaget, the Coute Reverso Milanese versus the Patek 5396 1G. All three cheaper than this Omega Constellation.
The Milanese is 44 grand. The 1908 Setimo is like 38 now. I think it went up 4 grand last year. And the 52 and the Patek is like 52. I think it got up to like 57 and they cut it back. Mm-hmm. And the fucking Omega is like $57,000 watch.
Hey, language.
Excuse me.
Yeah, great. Yeah. I mean, come on. Kids, a lot of kids watch this channel. Speedy Hernandez, member for 16 months. That's pretty awesome. By the way, if you have a star next to your name, you remember it's the second to last day of the month to use your member milestone chats. Click on the currency icon, like the $ in the chat where you type in a comment. You may have a free member milestone chat. Use it before the end of the month, guys. Since we're talking non-Rolex, says Speedy, I'm chomping at the bit for the new Universal Geneve releases. Now, Universal Geneve is owned by the same parent company as Breitling, correct? And
yes,
and they're about to introduce Universal Geneve as kind of the premium chronograph brand to Breitling. It's going to be interesting. It's an interesting time in the market to see what they'll be able to do. It's a brand that has a lot of historical value, a lot of sentimental value in the collecting community.
Here's
So
an
we'll see.
interesting thing, which is that I was on social media and a very prominent prominent vintage dealer. Won't say his name, but a vintage dealer who sells UG and is like, kind of one of these social media guys, but like very, very well respected. And I bought stuff from him. Seems like a lovely guy.
He's in Florida, correct?
He's in Florida. He's in Florida.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might be someone else, but one of those Florida guys. He was talking at this. It was the antique show this weekend. He was being interviewed, and he said that he and his colleague had seen these UGs, and he's like, he intimated that the pricing is very expensive. And I thought that coming from him, who's a guy that sells watches all over the board, including watches that are hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, I was like, oh, I really wonder where they're starting these things. It doesn't sound like I mean, could they be starting UGs at like over 25, 30K? Like, that would be nuts. That would just wipe it out right off the bat.
No, I think they're going to be priced very high out of the gate. They're going to be positioned as premium. Breitling is 10, 11, 12,000 for a basic chronograph. I think you'll see these probably double that. Wow. Trying to cash in on the cachet. That's not a pun. Of their kind of premium historic brand. There are a lot of people who love the very symmetrical and very aesthetically pleasing look of the Universal Genève chronograph. And if they come out with something that looks really, really good, they're going to try and play up the nostalgia factor, say this is a modern version of that old classic, and it's 25,000. What, 25,000? Yep.
The real vintage guys they released a few last year, I think, for charity that were being auctioned off. And they released them on those like kind of leather bracelet straps that I can't remember what they're called. It's not just a leather strap. It's got like the thing. It looks like it's, I don't know, like you're a superhero. And a lot of the real vintage guys that I follow were like not into the new versions of these at all. So it'll be interesting if they can pull the more modern people into it, because I think, when you sort of look at the old UGs, and I have a vintage pole router, they're small, and they're smaller watches, which is what a lot of the vintage guys like. They're not big, at all.
I just don't know how big of a market there is for buying a new version of a Universal Genève chronograph. It's going to be a very limited market. St. Peter's in the chat. What's up, St. Peter? We got not Patek material. Universal Genève is a cynical money grab by private equity. And he knows all about private equity. You're out of your mind if you think that the first watches they will release will be under $30,000. Wow. Okay. They're gonna. I knew that they would cash in, but if they come out over 25,000, I think they'll be. But again, the mainstream media will do nothing but rave about how they're reviving a brand from the past, and the private equity, the management team who also owns Breitling, is doing a masterful job bringing the watches back from the dead and all that stuff. But listen, I mean, there's only so many of those kinds of collectors around that will pay that kind of money. Whole Milk's also in the chat. What's up, Whole Milk? Good to see you. Mr. GMT's in the chat too. Thanks for having me on your channel yesterday. Really, really cool unboxing with Cap. And I won't give it away because you never know. Cap may decide to unbox it on different places, so don't want to give that one away. Yeah. So by the way, I just want to share a little bit of non-Omega news here, and that is this word today that Rolex has officially announced that their new 30-story headquarters located on Fifth Avenue on the corner of 53rd and Fifth Avenue, is opening in 2026. The plans are to open Rolex Tower this fall. No date has been confirmed, but the company did say that they plan on opening their new 30-story flagship located on the corner of 53rd and Fifth Avenue this fall. It will feature, as you can see here, a massive 4-story boutique, one of the world's largest Rolex boutiques, with a museum and swimming pool. It's going to have a pool table. It's going to have a sauna.
Sure.
I think it's going to be like the Rolex Resort and Spa here.
That'd be
and
great.
then the upper floors, the upper floors are going to be offices where they're going to house the Rolex Service Center, which is currently located in the Nike building a couple blocks away temporarily. And then, of course, up at the top, then they're going to have the corporate offices, and then up on top, we're going to have an executive dining room where all the big wigs from all around the world are going to come, and Federer and Coco and Sinner and Alcaraz, Zendaya and Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah,
they'll all take the private elevator, which you can't see here. It's the private elevator is like on the side. They have a side entrance with a big vault door where all the shipments come in, underground and stuff. But Leo and all those guys, they'll take the private elevator to the top, to the executive dining room, and they'll dine there. Will we ever get a chance, people like you and me, get a chance to go into the Rolex Tower? Probably not. But the news breaking today, Rolex announcing that the Rolex Tower will be opening this fall.
But the steam
exciting.
room and the saunas are going to be open to the public if you sign up.
Listen, memberships to the Rolex Resort and Spa will be available starting May 1st.
If you get in early, it's like Soho House. Like if you get in early enough, like you can have, access to all of the facilities.
This is going to be awesome because, like, for all the people in New York and people coming from around the world to visit New York, this is going to be like Mecca. This is going to be like a tower, almost like a religious symbol of like it's like, I don't know. It's like this is the ultimate tribute to our hobby, is to walk by this building and see what they've done here. So huge shout out.
They will have a crazy big CPO too.
Oh, they're probably amassing hundreds and hundreds of the craziest pieces to be on display here, and probably all kinds of historical pieces that I would have in like kind of a museum area or historical thing where you go through like the history of the Daytona and all these fucking rare Daytonas and shit. Or maybe they don't do anything. Maybe they just have fucking empty cases. Who knows?
But just empty cases with,
empty cases and brochures,
Yeah. But you can't get the magazine. I was in the Bond Street Rolex in London, and there, which is a lovely store. They didn't have anybody to help in the CPO section, which I thought was very odd, because those are watches you should want to move right away. But they did have like a very robust, sort of supply of certified pre-owned watches that were, pretty interesting.
Now we have, they always have cool stuff there for sure. The prices, got to be careful with the prices. We've got Pablo in the chat who, Pablo super chat, 249 euros. Welcome for the, thank you for the Flamingo Blue highlight comment. Would you say new 41 Pepsi this year? Wow. Well, as you know, this is the current leak. Let me share this. This is, I don't know, is it confirmed? I'm not quite sure if it's confirmed, but this is making the rounds. We're the first live stream, the first watch channel anywhere on social media and on YouTube to show this. We showed it, I think, for the first time on March 20th or something. I can't remember. Let's see. So this is a BLNR with a reference number 136710-0002. Oyster bracelet, blue dial, black and blue bezel, and blue GMT hand. Is it real? I don't know, but Will the GMT Master 2 be redesigned? Will the case be redesigned? ZD, I ask you, yes or no?
I don't think it goes to 41. I think if anything, it gets smaller.
Smaller.
Yeah,
Mm.
but
Mm.
but I that it's because the current one is 1.2, right? So I don't know, that
Correct.
1.3
126.
makes me think they're doing something. It's not just a dial flip on the Batman. I'm not. I would
If
think
it's
that there's
real.
going to be some
Again, if it's
refinement
real. We
to
don't
it
know.
if it's real. I think it's
Right.
real. I think all the things that we've seen, other than maybe that gold uh, day date with the blue dial, I think the early images and this are real. If I'm putting my money on something, I think they're going to maybe slim it down a little bit. That's my point of view, but I don't think it's
Slim
going to
the
go
lugs
up.
down, make it
Yeah.
a little more, make it
Yeah.
more elegant, is what you're saying?
Yep. Yep.
I mean, how many cases are they going to have that look the same though? It's like all the cases look the same. Is that a
They are.
bad thing? I mean, it kind of like is a little bit cookie cutter, you know?
That's what they do. They make oyster case watches. That's it. I mean, that's what they do.
I mean, I don't want to complain
You
that
know?
Rolex is boring, but
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
every case is going to look exactly the same as the other case. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it's
That's
I
their
guess
thing.
yeah, I guess, but
And
I don't
people are
know.
lining
I
up
would.
for it.
It doesn't look like this is going to have quick set date and a new movement, but maybe it will. Who knows? Because it still has the Swiss crown made
Yeah.
at the bottom, which means no new movement. I don't know. We'll see. We've got Speedy Horrendous with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Speedy. Appreciate it. Free knee pads for the first 100 members to join the Rolex Resort and Spa. Knee pads. Come on, Speedy.
Do they have the crown? Do they have the crowns on them? Those would be kind of cool, actually. I
on
mean,
the
who
knee
wouldn't want those?
pads?
On the knee pads, green.
You
That
don't
nice
you don't want
Rolex
the
green with a gold
yeah.
crown. I mean,
You just don't want you don't want that crown embossing to rub off though. So it can't be painted on. It would have
No,
to
it's
be
got to
like
be stitched. Got to be
got to be
stitched.
stitched.
Got to be
Got to be
stitched.
stitched.
I'm going to say something controversial here, by the way. I
do it.
This may not be controversial. I like this new watch. I don't like the Batman or the Batgirl at all. Never have. Don't like it. Don't like.
What is it? What is it about it? You just don't like black and blue?
I just don't like the contrast between the black and the blue and the black dial. I've just never liked it. Ever. Wouldn't buy it. Wouldn't take it if it was offered.
I've had a Batman.
I'm sure you have.
It's
Yeah,
it's
people
a
love it.
good.
People
You
love
turn
it.
that bezel. You turn that bezel have a 1/4 turn, and now you've got the black on the right side or the blue on the right side, and you can wear it with a blue suit and just all blue showing. It's pretty cool. It's Buckley thinks the GMT Master 2 is overrated. Doesn't like the Pepsi. There are a lot of people who just don't like the GMT Master 2.
Is the best watch that has ever been made. That is my other statement.
Ooh.
Any
Wow.
version of it, whatever you want it to be, I think that watch is the coolest, best watch of all time. Period.
Green Man says, "You are nuts. The Batman is really great."
I get it. That's why I said it was going to be controversial.
John Gallops in the chat. Got Archie Buggery. Good to see Archie Buggery. If you're new to the channel, by the way, please be sure to subscribe and become a member. I'll drop the link to the memberships one more time because I know you guys really, really want to become members. So breaking news today, Rolex did announce that they will be opening their new Rolex headquarters in New York City this fall. Date TBD. Should I buy, this is a question for you, ZD, should I buy Rolex or Grand Seiko?
That's what, there's a beautiful Grand Seiko boutique right by the new Rolex building that will be opening. So you have so many options.
There's a 3-story Grand Seiko boutique.
Yeah.
It's insane what they did there.
I would say don't buy Grand Seiko, buy Creedor. That's my that would be my that would be my message to the crew.
Where,
Um,
but do you buy
they're
Creedor in the Grand Seiko store, or do you have to go to
uh,
Japan to get it?
they have every once in a while, like for their high end clients, you can get probably the Creedor locomotive, which they don't get many of, and not many get made. But I was told that, like, every once in a while you can get one from them. Otherwise, like, they're not really available. Um, I don't own a Grand Seiko. I've thought about buying Grand Seiko many times. I actually think that they make great some great watches. There's one watch they make, which is a GMT, which is like 5,600 bucks on a strap. It is awesome. If you want an inexpensive like a true flyer GMT, it is a brilliant watch. I have not bought anything from them. If I go to Japan, I might consider buying like a special one as a memory from the trip, but otherwise, I will never buy one. That's what I've come to learn about myself.
Good to know. Good to know. By the way, I'm sharing, take a look at this. I'm sharing another
Yeah.
leaked image, and we'll talk about this one in a second. Pablo, again, with a 249 euro super chat with that refined case. Will the refined case be case Pepsi there? Okay, hold on. With that,
I feel
refined
like the
case
Pepsi
Pepsi
is
there or new
done.
color?
I'm gonna buy into the rumor that the Pepsi is going away. That I'm gonna agree with all of the frantic, rumors that have been spread throughout social media that the Pepsi is going away.
Listen, the one
I
of the
I
two
think
little ladies is in poor health, and you know what that
very
means.
ill, and I know that she's been working with her granddaughter to try to get her up to speed, and I know it's been hard.
Very
And
hard.
maybe she will get her there. We shall see. But as OC broke a very long time ago on this here channel, they were pulled from the authorized dealer websites. I
They were.
believe I don't believe that anybody in the world of programming has ever made a mistake in history. And so sure, this is real. And it got leaked a little bit early because there's a bunch of losers in this hobby that
Yep.
are just always looking for leaks. And here we are, and I agree with it.
It was a snafu. Something happened, and I mean, they control what happened, what occurs on all their dealer websites. It wasn't just
Yep.
didn't happen by all of a sudden, like the three red and blue bezel GMTs just magically disappeared for no reason.
Yeah.
Someone hit a button. They were checkmarked like, "Hey, delete on such and such date."
It 4:15
And
it was supposed to delete, which
yeah,
is the day, and it said it deleted on 2:15.
exactly. Someone screw some.
Some French guy like put the wrong thing in, and it was a
It's always
mess. And that's it.
always the French guys. Always the French guys messing it up. You
Yep.
know. So here we have another leak. This was leaked by the same source that leaked the blue dial GMT Master 2, and this is typical Rolex here of a rose gold day date 40 with a blue dial. It's like, oh, this is something that you would expect from Rolex, right?
Yeah, it doesn't feel all that special for the day date anniversary, but and I wish that
Well,
I wish it wasn't Roman numerals, but it's nice.
it may not be an anniversary, or maybe it is. Who knows? And then of
Well,
course,
it is the day date anniversary, and thus everyone is expecting like a bunch of fancy special versions of day dates to come along this year.
it's
Because
been a long
like,
time since they tweaked the date just and the date 8 cases. So you never know. I mean, maybe they
yeah,
find a way to make them a little bit better, or to take that new movement and rejigger it to who knows what these guys are doing. But it'll be good. We are 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from tonight is when we expect the first teasers to be released by Rolex. So stay tuned, guys. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Notifications on. No one does as extensive and as comprehensive coverage of the teaser campaigns than we do. And by the way, we also shared this. We were thinking about the first stream to share this as well. These, we don't know if these are real, but Yacht Master 2, who would go through the trouble of making up a render of a Yacht Master 2 if it weren't real? These look just like the leaks that came out in 2025. Remember, we saw the blurry images of the Land Dweller and the red dial Datejust, and they had the turquoise Daytona and all that stuff. Like, no, there's no way those are going to be real. Those are ugly. And then, sure enough, every single one of them was real. So,
I believe these are real. I think your yacht master. I believe your yacht master point of view is straight on. Who even remembers that it's in the catalog? So like, who would take the time? What's so
all
exciting
everybody,
about that?
all these YouTubers just with their same lame predictions year after year. The Milgauss is coming back. Wouldn't it be great to have the Milgauss was hated 3 years ago. No one liked the Milgauss. All of a sudden, wouldn't it be great to get the Mill back? No, it wouldn't be. No one bought it then. No one liked it then. No one's going to like it now. It's not coming back.
We're always dealing with a bunch of scientists that are working in labs that are very worried about the magnetic pulses of their watches. I got into it in the comments on one of these Omega posts because I was really feeling myself. I was going through everybody's goddamn feeds and just like laying napalm about how dare you, not speak the truth. And some guy's like, but the Milgauss. I'm like, do you work in a lab? He's like, we all have phones and there's magnetic. I'm like, okay, great. I'm like, we're all like, my watches are not resetting. I'm carrying a phone in my hand every moment.
Yeah. By the way, what was I about to say? How many times, if I had a dime for every time I heard someone predict, oh, well, this is the year we're finally going to get the Coke, but it's going to be in white gold. Like, they always have to add that little thing at the end, like, ooh, this will finally be the year, guys. We're going to get the Coke, but I think it'll be in white gold. How many times have you guys heard that same fucking bullshit over and over and over, regurgitated by YouTuber after YouTuber after YouTuber? They don't have any original ideas of their own. They all have to repeat. They have to repeat all the exact same prediction. I mean, get the fuck out of here, guys. Have some originality. Make up your own predictions. Like, it's literally they go to monochrome and then they repeat what monochrome said. Now that guy repeats what they said, and then it's like there's no backbone. There's no backbone with these guys because a lot of these guys they were paid to promote Moser and Oris and all these brands. And it's like they have no sense of they have no credibility. They lack credibility.
No credibility. I will say I'm very excited to see what Vacheron does this year as a card-carrying member.
I know you were largely responsible for getting them named brand of the year in 2024. I think it was, or 20 whenever.
Last year. This is the overseas anniversary. I think they're going to do some really cool things, which I'm excited about.
I know what they're doing. I'm not allowed to say. I've been told what they're doing.
Love it.
It's going to be. I mean, I think. Listen, if someone told me that I could get a smaller overseas, they were making it slightly smaller, would that appeal to me? I don't know. Maybe I think it's 42.5 is the current one.
There's 40 millimeters, and then there's like the ones with different complications are a little bit bigger. But even the 40, they don't wear like 40. They wear much bigger, and so right. And sadly the smaller size to the 34 or 36, whatever it is, I think it's a 34, is just way too small. My hope is that they do something in the 38 millimeter, or they sort of change that case shape a little bit to slim it down, so make the kind of how how deep it is across the wrists. It's just too much for me.
I mean, the thing is, if they change the case size, they just have to make sure that they nail the proportions. Totally. Because that's usually where they screw up, is they make the bezel like a little bit thinner, a little bit fatter. They make something in the dial look a little bit weird. They have to, and it's hard to do. It's hard to get everything to look just right. So
that's the brand I'm most excited to see their watches and wonders this year.
Well, I will be there. I will be there starting on the 15th. I'll be in Geneva, and I might be doing some Gonzo streams from some different events and boutiques in Geneva. And of course, I'll be doing coverage from the show floor So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. I maybe have some streaming partners, by the way. I can't announce who those people might be, but I might have some streaming partners joining me. Here's a crazy idea, says John Gallup. I believe there's a patent for a different colored sapphire glass predicted by some for a new Milgauss. However, how about it being used on the GMT bezel instead of ceramic? So using, instead of a ceramic for the bezel, using a sapphire glass bezel. What do you think?
I don't think so. I don't
I
know.
don't think so either.
I don't think
I
so.
mean, if they had something that was harder than ceramic and more
Yeah.
reliable and more scratch resistant than, but I
Yeah.
think ceramic pretty much does it.
Totally. Why?
If it's, yeah,
they're making these watches like built to last. Like they've gone through the stages of, of evolution, and like they want them to stay as uniform as possible for the entirety of their existence, despite the fact that the entire vintage market relishes all the changes that the previous ones used to go through their tritium and through their aluminum bezels fading. Rolex is not interested in that. They want all these things to look uniform forever. So
Yep.
I don't know much. I'm not a chemist, but it feels like ceramic accomplishes that for them, and I don't know why they would change that.
I love the look of the old Bakelite
Yeah,
bezels, how they kind of look like clear. I mean, they're plastic. I mean, if they had a modern
plastic,
version,
yeah.
if they had a modern version that looked like glass in the and then you could see through the clear portion at the bottom, there was the numerals. You know what I mean? Like you could.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you covered aluminum in ceramic, it could be cool. I mean, I prefer the old aluminum ones to the current version. Maybe there's something, but obviously, if you were to believe this, you can't tell anything from this photo, but it looks like the current one. Maybe they, can dye the aluminum better, and you cover it in some sort of sapphire glass. Maybe possible.
My strong hope is that Rolex finally implements technology that I know is patented, where they have either laser etched or they have somehow embedded serial numbers into both the bezel and the dial to thwart counterfeiting and theft. So basically, like there's like something, either it's digital where you take a phone with an app and you put it next to the watch and it confirms, the serial number of all the key parts, like the bezel, the case, the movement, and the dial. Or if it's some kind of like UV light or something that you pass over and it reveals a secret serial number. Because as you know, especially if they're doing a color dial, because what's the most counterfeited Rolex in the world? Probably like the Hulk, in terms of like people take the Submariner, they put I'm gonna say counterfeit bezel, counterfeit dial, and they transform a $13,000 watch into an $18,000 watch, right? So it's the financial incentive to basically convert these into fraudulent watches is it's very lucrative for them.
Well, it's like
very high incentive.
if you put a Kandahar stamp on anything or a Tiffany stamp,
well,
when
Roman
you're
would
dealing
love
with
that,
vintage, exactly. Those things, it quadruples the value of all these things.
Right. So like I really do hope, will it cost a little bit more? Will it cost them $30 extra to during the dial making process to fucking laser fucking something under there? Yeah,
you're looking
do
for
it
the
anyway.
Evolution of what the coronet in the crystal was originally.
Because
so you're
exactly.
You're
I'm looking for
which
more
felt like
more counterfeit thwarting technology
exactly.
embedded into the watch, just like when they moved the serial to the rehaut, they put the laser engraving on the crystal, shit like that, to protect their brand and to protect consumers. Because if they can say, listen, going forward from 2026 on, take this fucking laser light, pass it over the watch, and if you don't see the serial number there, it's counterfeit.
That would be awesome.
It shuts those guys down. It's like,
at least it gives them like a couple year head start, because eventually everything catches up, like there is somebody in some foreign country that's like will immediately start working on a way to beat it, but it gives you a head start of a couple years before they can, duplicate it. And then the next thing has to come along.
Yep. Blancpain does do a really good job with their sapphire bezel on their 50 Phantoms. It makes it look like a very
Yeah.
you almost feel like you can press down on the bezel and
Yes,
it'll
it
leave
looks
like a
like
finger
it's so like
thing
pillowy.
like a
Yeah.
yeah like
Yeah.
you can leave
Yeah.
a fingernail mark
Yeah.
in it, you know,
Yeah.
but you can't. It's glass.
Sadly,
It's
those
cool.
watches are way overpriced.
You have very few people buying. Ryan Singer had a Blancpain, but
I love it,
eventually
man. They're
it's a
awesome.
great.
I like and every time they do like a limited edition, which they bring not every time, but when they do those limited editions, they like usually do them in 40 and they're just awesome. But I tried on the new 38 and I actually thought it was like, it actually wore a little too small weirdly on me, but it's just like, it was like a $19,000 watch. And, obviously assuming if you go to out of, not from one of their boutiques, but some other multi-brand dealer, you can get get a price, but it's still it's very expensive, you
Mhm.
know. But I think
Yeah.
they're great.
I mean, when I think of a diver that's more luxurious and kind of more prestigious
Yeah.
than a Submariner. I mean, there's the Yacht Master from Rolex, but then above that is Blancpain 50 Fathoms. So
Yeah.
what else? I mean, other. I mean, I guess you could say, is Aquanaut considered a diver? I mean, I know it's a water themed
No,
watch.
I
Maybe you
don't.
have you don't like AP at all, like in terms like you don't like the Rolex offshore as considered a luxury, a higher end alternative to
I just I
a
I happen
Submariner.
to I happen to actually really like that new teal one that they came out with, the offshore. And I
Mhm.
think the depth rating on those is 300. But they don't feel like tool watches to me, And I think there is something. I I totally agree with you on the sort of luxurious element of a Blancpain, but I think there's like a history of that being a real tool watch. And I think even though they'll probably tout some finishing that you know may matter to some people, may not matter to others, like that has like a history of being a tool watch. And so you can think like, oh, like I'm gonna like knock this thing around, and obviously you can knock around an offshore, but like I can't imagine anybody who's like a real diver would ever like be like, I'm going diving in my offshore, you know
Mhm.
um what else is out there that's like a step above a Submariner? um I mean, the Aquanaut's not
Not
really
much.
not I mean,
Aquanaut
Aquanaut's
is a
it's an
Aquanaut's like a
incredible
luxury.
watch,
It's like
but
a luxury. It's a
it's a
luxury watch.
luxury watch,
Yeah.
At this point, for sure, it's a luxury watch. It's like hard for anything that you could get for 25 that's worth 85 to think anything more of it,
Yeah.
regardless of whether or not you wear your watches. It's just like a different thing.
So, it's other than picking up your new Tudor, congratulations.
Thank you.
What else? Is there anything else that's on your radar? Or are you in a wait and see mode? Like, do
I'm
you
gonna
have?
wait.
Do you?
I'm
Okay.
I'm gonna wait and see mode. I mean, but yes, there are things on my I mean, obviously you're so close to watches and wonders, it's kind of hard to like not be intrigued by what is out there. I have asked for a 1908 on the gold Setimo bracelet with the white dial. I
Mhm.
really like that watch. That's on my list. I have asked for a 222. Um, that's on a list out there in the world. Um,
222 in steel with the blue dial.
in steel with the blue dial. Um, yeah. So and then like there's always like random, like if someone called me with the Oyster with an OP with that blue dial, I wouldn't say no.
That's super nice watch. Yeah.
I like that watch a lot.
It is the 100th anniversary of the Oyster case.
Yep.
And people have been saying, well, that they'll celebrate it by doing something with the Oyster Perpetual. I don't really see the correlation between the Oyster, like uh, the invention of the waterproof watch and the Oyster Perpetual model, because even though like the Oyster signifies, the name Oyster signifies this waterproof perpetual, that it's an automatic watch. I just don't see this collection as being like, why would they change this up when they're celebrating
I think
the?
they're just going to do some more new dials. That's it.
Would you think there'd ever be a chance that they would introduce a cushion case a modern cushion case one-off, one of 1,000 or whatever,
No,
that looks like the old Oyster?
no. By the way, what do I know? But no, I don't see them do like as a brand doing things like that. Like they do the Le Mans, right? Which is to say, like, here's a watch that feels like a watch that we make. We're going to make it special. We're never going to tell you how many we're making. You're never going to get one.
I
Okay.
know.
But although they're available to buy for $250,000, so whoever they're selling them to is like happily like handing them over to gray market dealers. Um,
100,
and
195 now. They're down to about 100 to
okay,
190 now.
fair
So
enough, fair
they
enough.
did
The,
drop.
the market's dropped, but that is the thing that I love the most is sort of like how hard everything is to get. Like, yeah, like yet go to like some guy in Florida. He's got 4 of them.
Why
Um,
is it? It's always the guys in Florida that have
I
them.
don't know. I think I don't know. They seem to always have them down there, and some in Orange County, California. But that to me is more of a version of what Rolex does than saying like we're going to do like we're going to introduce a new shape and pin it to a number. I can't see them doing that. Um, you know, that would surprise me.
Hmm. I gotta tell
They do
you,
they do the land dweller, you know, like they make a move and introduce a new thing and it becomes a thing, like becomes a platform for them for a very long time. You know, like you can some things come and go out of the, you know, okay, so they pull the Milgauss out, but the Milgauss, well, it was just another oyster case shaped watch with like different stuff inside of it to give it better magnetic
Mhm.
perseverance. But it's all the same.
Yep. Now, if I am on the new and improved Rolex.com. This site was updated 2 or 3 days ago. I was the first person to break the news that Rolex has reimagined and redefined their online experience. I'll give you guys a few tips and tricks here when you're navigating the Rolex.com site. First of all, the green is gone; it's replaced with white. It's a little bit cleaner. When you're dealing with the menu, I think everyone wants to go straight to the watches, right? So go here to Rolex watches and accessories. You have to scroll down. It's kind of like a left-hand tab that stays open while you stay on the page, so you can close it and you're still back where you were. But when you find a collection that you want, like for example the Land Dweller, it'll take you to a page with a lot of marketing fluff. Now here, what's also cool about it is it's showing you the current time. So the watch is actually running and is synchronized to the atomic clock. So if you want to set your watch, you can actually set it with the Rolex website. I think so. So here we are approaching the top of the minute. Boom. So it's literally synchronized to the atomic clock. So you can, it's awesome. But there's a ton of marketing stuff. You could scroll down forever and videos and all kinds of stuff. The key is like, don't scroll. You don't have to scroll all the way down. When you're on the page and you start to scroll down a little bit, this little thing at the bottom will pop up that says Land Dweller, and this will take you either right to the models or to the configurator. Okay, so just skip the marketing fluff. You can either view all models or go to the configurator, and boom. I think they're going to probably fix it so you can get to the configurator a little bit easier, but that's your shortcut. And there you go. 68,000 for the platinum Land Dweller. Mamma mia. Do you think that they will tweak the Land Dweller in 2026 with either new dials or go with batons, as my South African and British friends might say? Or do you think they're going to keep it the same? And because very few people have gotten this thing, right? ZD, you're on mute, by the way, but you don't have to jump. You don't have to, it's a rhetorical question for you. I'm asking for the chat, but if you want to jump in and answer, you can. ZD, when are you coming to New York? I know we're planning a big event. I can't say when, but we are planning a massive watch community get together in Los Angeles. Probably be invite only. Sorry, guys. But ZD will be there. He's a member of the LA crew. But you come to New York. Maybe I was thinking, maybe I don't know, watch that Watch Time New York thing, which I friggin' blew off last year. It's almost like nope. It was kind of a bust last year, wasn't it? I'm glad I didn't show up. When do you come to New York? Anytime? Should we come to New York and we'll celebrate? We'll take a bottle of whatever that champagne is, Cristal, and we'll smash it against the side of the Rolex building. We'll christen it.
I mean, definitely we should all, do a big dinner the week that opens, maybe in the executive dining room. Maybe someone in the crew can arrange that for us.
We're gonna crash it. We'll just crash the building.
Yeah.
Why honeycomb? I mean, why not? The honeycomb is kind of like a fluted design. It's like with those angles. So that's why they did it. But it's too much going on. It's too much visually.
They would go with the battens, or however you want to say them.
Go with the battens.
I don't believe they will do any redesigning. 12 months after they release this watch, maybe a new dial color here or two. It's I've tried it on a bunch of times in different boutiques. I think the honeycomb photographs so poorly, it's crazy, and it looks so much better on. I think it's like a great looking watch on. If you're talking about cost per wear, I don't know that I would wear this watch. And if you are fortunate enough to own a Royal Oak, I don't know why you would desire this watch. I think they're duplicative of one another. And, and so if you're going to reach in your box for one of these watches and they're right next to each other, like, I don't know why I think if you have one, you don't need the other. You could prefer the land dweller. That is totally fair and appropriate. But if you prefer that, you don't need a Royal Oak. And if you have a Royal Oak and prefer that, you don't need a land dweller. I think they're kind of, they're not the same, but they're in this, they speak the same language. And so that's my point of view. To me, it would just be like, you can buy it because you have the money and you have the access. Great. It's a flex. But like, if you're like actually thinking about like what you're going to wear, CPW, like, it's unnecessary. And I prefer the bracelet on the Royal Oak because I prefer the way that bracelet wears, but also the way it flashes. I don't love if I'm comparing the two, I don't like the polished center links of the land dweller as much as I like the way the Royal Oak's bracelet wears.
Yeah, those are all fair points. And if we really want to nitpick, the name land dweller is really bad.
Garbage.
Why did they do that? I mean, they can't even fix it now. It's like, who was in that meeting where they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to call it the land dweller," and then everybody around the table just go, "Oh yeah, dweller, I get it." Like a sea dweller, air dweller, river dweller. Oh yeah, this is a cosmopolitan. A city watch for the city. Okay, land dweller.
McKinsey, and McKinsey split their crew between them and Patek, and half the crew came up with land dweller and half the crew came up with Cubitus. McKinsey high-fived. They booked a bunch of money on both ends, and they went back to their offices and snickered. And everyone still lines up to buy those watches.
There's a lot of talk in the chat, by the way, about this whole thing about some Swiss watch brands doing some of their components, particularly cases and or bracelets or straps, in outside of Switzerland, particularly in China. Is this this is starting to become something that is annoying collectors more and more and more? I'm surprised there aren't more investigations into which bracelets are actually made in China versus, I mean, do we know for sure? Like, for example, that Swatch Group has a factory in China where they make bracelets for all their watches? Because I think it's important for us to get that right. Here's not Patek Material, by the way, who's an expert on industry in general. Nope, the entire watch is manufactured in China. I think he's talking about Omega here. And then the components are shipped to Switzerland for assembly to ensure the Swiss made stamp. Do these, I mean, why are they building so many factories in Switzerland and they need so many watchmakers if they're just going to have the stuff machined in China? I don't get it. And then the Chinese, no offense to them, but some of them can steal the intellectual property. The people who are making the machines that actually make the cases turn around and sell the designs of the machines or sell the actual machines to somebody else in a factory right next door where they're making counterfeit versions of the watch. It's like, why would you want to let them have access to the technology to make the watches? It's a travesty.
There was a great interview with an American watchmaker, Jonathan Shapiro, a son of Los Angeles, who makes beautiful watches. And he talked about
Josh Shapiro.
And he talked about how hard it is to make something in the United States and call it American made. And I guess that is what Shinola ran into that problem years ago, versus what it means to be able to make something in Switzerland and say Swiss made. It is a giant chasm, and he is forced to like do all these things to make it be American made that the Swiss would never have to comport to in order to be able to have it say Swiss made. I'm sure there are brands that are charging thousands of dollars for watches, whether it be, Oris or Longines, or I don't want to impugn those brands, but brands in that range, that where there are things that are coming from outside of the valley, okay, and it kind of is what it is. I think when you see the industry that some of the higher end brands have put into their watchmaking and into I just watched an incredible video, speaking of Tudor, from earlier in the thing, of how their whole infrastructure,
a tour of the watch factory.
Tour of the factory was quite impressive.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm sure there's a bunch of, brands owned by holding companies that don't do that.
Yep. I think Swatch in particularly is in trouble. I don't give financial advice, and I don't track the stock. I don't short the stock. I don't have any financial interest in the stock, but I do think the stock is overvalued. I think every one of those Swatch brands is in trouble. Swatch, Omega, Breguet, Blancpain. What else is there? Glashütte. I mean, there's literally not a single brand. LVMH is no better, by the way. LVMH is Hublot, Tag Heuer, and Zenith. And Hublot and Zenith are basically almost out of business at this point. And Tag Heuer's doing okay. Tag Heuer's doing well. It's a good brand. But
there was a big rumor that they were going to offload Zenith. Rumor came out a few months ago.
The rumor came from them. I think the rumor came from where they basically said we're going to use Zenith as our movement making engine within LVMH, which basically means like, hey, you know what? We have like a 60-year-old chronograph, and we're going to throw it into, which they actually did. They threw it into a Tiffany & Co. branded watch.
Yep.
And
they're all of those LVMH watches, like the drag hours and all these watches, which some of them are quite lovely. Like a lot of them seem to be powered by Zenith movements.
I'm surprised because the Zenith movements are so old, and they really haven't updated them in decades. And I would think that the servicing costs of those are pretty high. I mean, they're not. I'm not saying they're not reliable. They are. They've got to be reliable for them to have lasted so long. But they're just not. They're not efficient to produce. They haven't really gotten to the point where it's like instead of 350 components, it's 250 or whatever. They haven't really like totally optimized it. But I don't know anything about watches, so I don't care anyway. But
they're they do have a premium patina to them and history to them, which I think allows them to say, we've put in a Zenith Elite movement or a Zenith El Primera movement, which sounds a hell of a lot better than it's
Nobody,
got
but
a Salida 3600, or an ETA 2800 that we've augmented.
I know, but nobody buying a Tiffany. Let me see this Tiffany and Co. chronograph. How much is this thing? Tiffany and Co. chronograph.
Well, nobody buying that watch gives a shit about what's inside of it.
Let's see. When did that one come out? Let's look at Monochrome. Shout out to our friends at Monochrome for sharing this article with us. The new Tiffany timer. It's a vibrant Tiffany blue. So look, this is like them trying to be Patek here. 40 millimeter chronograph. Okay, so it's got diamond baguettes. It's a decent looking case. But let's see, what was the point that I was trying to make?
The movement.
The movement. Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, but like, for example, why does anybody buying this watch care? Like, for example, this has by the way, the mechanism that's inside this was the first automatic chronograph ever developed in 1963 or whatever. Like, no one's gonna give a fuck, Or this chronograph was used. I mean, they can't say like, this was the same movement that was used in the Rolex Daytona 20 years or whatever it was. They can't even mention Rolex in a Tiffany & Co. store. So like all of the cachet that we as watch collectors associate with the El Primero movement come from it being the first automatic chronograph. I think that's what it was, right? They were in a race to develop that.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is that it powered the Daytona from 1988 to 2000 or whatever it was. That's why it's. I mean, then for me, like the nostalgia of the brand died, and then some old guy went up into an attic and he found some parts and he fucking built the machine again. Like that's cool. It's like Anne Frank. It's like Anne Frank was hiding, and then he hid the tools. I don't know if the story's right. Yeah, she did, and she found the tools and rebuilt the brand from nothing.
I don't think that was exactly her story, but yes, I
pretty
do.
Close. Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, that's what the kids learn. It's all about capitalism in the Anne Frank story.
Does anybody watching have an unboxing? If anybody's watching the show right now and they have a recent purchase over the last couple months that they haven't unboxed yet, or they want to share for the first time their story with the watch community, feel free to jump on. There's a link pinned at the top of the chat. Just click on the link. Can have a microphone or your phone just standing by. We can figure out how to make it work. But we like to do that. Or reach out to me on Instagram, we can schedule something for you to share your recent purchase. Doesn't have to be an approved brand. It could be anything. We celebrate all unboxings here. And then after you get off the air, then we'll chastise your decision behind your back. It's okay. It's all in good fun. Luxury companies are not great investments. I'm assuming that you don't mean. Do you mean investing in those companies from a stock perspective?
Stock.
Okay.
Hermes, probably a good one, but maybe beyond that.
Are they private or are they public, Hermes?
I think Hermes is public.
Okay.
I think it's public.
What are some of the guys in the chat and ZD on the panel? What are some luxury conglomerates that you think would be good, that have a good financial future, that their brands will stand the test of time? I don't know. I mean, Richemont seems to be doing good, right? And LVMH has tons of incredible brands.
It's all Richemont. If like Richemont could get to down to just Cartier, they'd be psyched, because that brand is killer. Frankly, that's what LVMH was hoping Tiffany's would be for them, is that they could compete with Cartier.
They have Vacheron too. They have Vacheron.
Yeah, and Vacheron, yeah, but Cartier, Vacheron, and
Longa.
They've got Longa, and they've got Dunhill, and I mean they've got a million other high end
Dunhill cigarettes. Brands. Really, I love those.
Dunhill suits and maybe cigarettes, but suits for sure. And what else do they have? Oh, they've got who made the polo? Piaget. Um,
Who's even mentioned the word Piaget in months? I mean, during the hype, you would mention Piaget all the time. You'd never buy one, but at least they were in a conversation. They are
By the way,
literally completely
they
out of the conversation.
just came out with a two-tone gold Piaget polo, which is quite beautiful. 79. It's like $78,000. I can't imagine that they're selling many of those. But they did that Andy Warhol watch last year. I thought was awesome. Also way too expensive. And limited, I believe. But Richemont owns Piaget. I'm trying to think what else they have. They have a bunch of they have a lot of
heavy hitter brands.
They also have IWC.
I completely forgot. IWC, Panerai,
IWC, Panerai, JLC, all Richemont. Yeah, all Richemont.
Yeah.
And JLC is supposedly, well, there was a rumor that JLC, that the current president or former president or someone who's the president of it wants to buy it out from them.
Want to take it private,
Yeah, want to take it private.
I don't know. If someone's in private equity and venture capital or whatever, I can't imagine like taking. I guess Breitling, the timing of that was really good, but like I think Breitling, like the peak for them to sell was probably like 2 years ago. I mean, if someone's looking to buy Breitling from Partners Group, I think don't they see like the strong headwinds like in the industry for a company like Breitling, or are they just like, oh no, we're growing 10% a year still by, I don't know how they do it. I don't know.
Are they? I have no idea. I have no idea. Yeah,
they're doing fine. I could pull up the Morgan Stanley report. They're still there and doing well.
It's private equity. They'll just like flip it into a new fund. Fund 52. They'll raise a bunch of new money on that fund, and they'll be fine.
I was in fund 49. I got screwed.
You got screwed. Yeah, you were like, they're like, we're flipping.
I wish I would have known about Fund 52. Yeah.
Would you like to be in that? We would like your money.
All these fuckers got out of Fund 49, went into Fund 52 behind my back. I was too late. I was late to the party. I got stuck holding the bag with fucking Fund 49.
Yep. It's just to keep it rolling, keep it moving down the stream. Fresh money, sovereign wealth funds, all of that stuff.
What is sovereign wealth fund? Does that mean like a fund that's backed by the government, or it's like some
basically means
somewhere that
exactly, the sovereign wealth fund of Abu Dhabi, of Saudi Arabia.
Whatever happened to the idea? Was it not Saudi Arabia? Was it, who was the main guy that had maybe it was like Muhammad, the King Muhammad or whatever.
Muhammad
Saudi Arabia had
that
huge, he had the huge sovereign wealth fund.
Yeah.
He would just put trillions into like these companies. Yeah. Have you done your taxes yet, CD?
They're in process, I would say.
That sounds like you haven't started. It sounds like you haven't started.
I've got a tax professional who handles that, and he's working on it. So I should have my
how complicated do your taxes have to be for you to have an accountant who's in progress?
Or how uncomplicated and how little am I paying someone that I'm just like hoping that they get it in. It could go either way here. You don't really know.
Guys in the chat, if we're not revealing confidential information here, but how much do you pay? Let's just do a poll, informal poll. Do you do your taxes yourself? Do you prepare them yourself using like, TurboTax or Intuit or one of these, I forgot what the names of the brands are, H&R Block or whatever, or do you go to a tax professional and they do it? And if you go to a tax professional, how much do you pay? Don't be shy. Just tell. Who gives a fuck if you tell people how much do you pay to have your tax preparer complete your taxes? If you guys in the chat reveal how much you pay, I will reveal how much I paid today for a 2-hour meeting. It's not that much money. 2-hour meeting with my tax professional, and I did all of my stuff. I had my LLC related to this channel, which generates hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue. I mean, let's be honest. And my personal, and then I'd also do my daughter's taxes. I'll tell you how much I pay. But guys in the chat, I knew this was going to take 2 hours, so I booked 2 hours because it's complicated. I got expenses. I got different income streams, lots of different income streams, lots of forms. The forms coming in. How do you organize all the forms that come in? Got 1099 this, 1099 that. You've got W-2s. You're a working man. You work for a living, right, ZD?
Work every day.
So you work. So you have an employer that pays you a paycheck. You get a W-2 or whatever it's called.
I'm a W-2 guy.
W-2 guy, which means, you have federal withholding and Social Security and all this stuff. And you walk in with that thing with the perforations. It's fun. No one ever tears the perforations. You know that? It's always a piece of paper. Why do they make it with perforations if everything's filed electronically these days? You know how much money it costs the U.S. government to create that W-2 with perforations in it?
Enough to probably fund schools for a long time. enough so we don't have to cut Medicare, but whatever. I don't want to get political.
The chat is completely dead. The chat is completely dead. So we have 50. Okay, we have 58 people watching, but they're all completely tuned out, which means they're watching other streams. Let's see who else is on. I'm not shy to say if somebody else is running right now. Let's see. We've got other streams running. Okay, that's cool. If you're watching another stream and you're listening to us in the background, if you're going back and forth between tabs, I get it. That's totally fine. That's allowed. It's encouraged because it keeps viewers on my channel, even if you're not paying attention. It inflates the views. I like that. I like inflated views. No, but I think we've run out of topics. But unless there's anything else you want to bring up, we had a good show.
I'm good. Fuck, screw Omega. Sorry, I don't want to use bad language.
Screw Omega or F Omega.
F Omega. Down with all these people pushing gobbledygook through our social media outlets that don't take a stand.
Down with Tudor. Down with Omega. Down with Zenith. And the guys, focus on the crown and the cross, Rolex and Patek. And that's it. That's it. ZD.
I wish everyone a wonderful evening.
Have a fantastic evening, everyone. And what we will do is this. We'll do something special. If you're even paying attention, which nobody is, but if you are, and you want to hop on and spend 5 minutes in the VIP after show with me and ZD, no holds barred, all questions will be answered. Then click on the link right there in the chat. Guys, upvote the live stream. I didn't even check the upvotes, but I'm sure that you guys crushed it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed, enable notifications, set those to all. Make sure your iPhone app or whatever, the YouTube notifications are enabled, all that good stuff. And we will catch you on the next one, guys, and become members. If you don't have a star next to your name, please consider becoming a member. The memberships pay for my lavish lifestyle so I can afford to pay my tax preparer, which no one volunteered how much they pay in the chat, so I'm not going to tell you what I paid. There is the link to the memberships and the link to the after show. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. Peace out.